Hello friends, a very good afternoon to all the students present. Am I audible to all? Dear students, am I audible to all? Okay, fine. Thank you for your response. So friends, if you remember in the last session, we have completed one of the interesting chapter and one of the important chapter, that was the steam boilers. And friends, I am telling you again and again, the steam boilers is one of the important chapter related to the theoretical examination. It is a scoring chapter. Just you need to practice the different figures of the steam boilers, the mountings and the accessories, and from the figure itself you can easily note down the construction, working and other technical points related to the steam boilers. So friends, from this session we are starting with the new unit, that is the chapter 11, which states the couplings, clutches and brakes. Dear students, let me tell you that this chapter we have not included in your mid-semester examination, but this chapter is the simplest chapter in basic mechanical engineering, and this chapter will be very useful to you in scoring good marks in the GTU examination. Because friends, in the GTU examination there will be the 100% syllabus, and the paper setter can ask any of the questions from the 100% syllabus. So the chapter 11, the couplings, clutches and brakes, is considered one of the simplest chapter and one of the scoring chapter. This is dealing with the majority of the concepts related to the mechanical engineering. In the mechanical engineering, there are the several applications of the couplings, the clutches and the brakes. So friends, in this session, we are going to understand the first part of this chapter, that is the couplings. So these are the main contents of my today's session. In this session, we will be understanding some of the basic concepts of the shaft couplings. Then we will understand the different types of the couplings. And finally, we are going to understand the different types of the rigid couplings and the different types of the flexible couplings. So let us start with the discussion related to the shaft couplings. Dear friends, the shaft coupling, or in simple a coupling, is a device which is used to connect two shafts together at their ends for the purpose of transmitting the power. So whenever we want to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft, we are using the couplings in order to connect the two shafts. And the coupling is generally connected at the end of the two shafts. The primary purpose of the coupling is to join two pieces of the rotating equipment while permitting some degree of misalignment or the end movements or the both. Now comes the term that is the misalignment. So misalignment refers to the case when there is the distance between the two axes of the shafts. If there is some distance between the axes of the shafts, then they are considered to be in the misalignment. And if both the shafts are having the common axis, that can be in the vertical direction or the horizontal direction, then if the shafts are having the common axis, hence they are considered to be in the perfect alignment. As we are proceeding further with the discussion of the shaft couplings, these concepts of the alignment and the misalignment will be much clearer to you. Now friends, if we consider the manufacturing of the mechanical shafts, they can be mostly available up to the meter, that is the 7 meter. Only we can able to produce the 7 meter shaft due to the manufacturing limitations. Also, due to the transport difficulty also, the 7 meter shafts are mostly available. But in case of the practical application, if there is the requirement of the greater length, then it is very necessary to join the two or the more pieces of the shaft, and this joining is done by means of the shaft couplings. So friends, this is the basic understanding related to the shaft couplings. Dear students, let me know from your side, are you understanding the basic concept of the shaft coupling? Have you understood the points which I have discussed up till now, the general concepts of the shaft couplings? I want your responses in the chat box so that I can proceed further with my discussion. Okay, so I have got some good responses from the students. Thank you for sharing your responses. Now, friends, let us proceed further and understand the purposes of using the shaft couplings. Why we are using the shaft couplings, or what are the objectives of the shaft couplings? The prime objective, the prime purpose of using the shaft coupling is to transmit the power from the driver shaft to the driven shaft. The driver shaft is the simple, the input shaft, and the driven shaft is the output shaft. So whenever we want to transmit the power from the driver shaft to the driven shaft, for combining these two shafts, we are using the coupling. The second purpose is to connect or couple the two components which are manufactured separately. Example, the output motor shaft and the generator shaft. The motor will be produced or manufactured by the different industry. The generator will be manufactured by the different industry. Both will be having different design considerations. So now, in order to couple, in order to connect such components which are manufactured separately, we are using the shaft couplings. Next purpose is to introduce the protection against the overloads. During the operation of the mechanical machineries, there are chances that the shaft is undergoing the overloading conditions. So in case of the overloads, the shafts may break and result into the failure of the machine. But whenever we are using the couplings to join the shafts, the couplings, they introduce the protection against the overloads. Also, the shaft couplings, they introduce an extra flexibility. while transmitting the power in case of the space restrictions. In some mechanical machineries, in some of the applications where there are the space restrictions, we want the flexibility while transmitting the power. Then in those cases, we are using the shaft couplings to join the two shafts. And the last purpose of the shaft coupling is to reduce the transmission of the shock loads from one shaft to the another shaft by using the flexible couplings. During the rotation of the shafts at the higher RPMs, there are chances that the shafts they undergo the vibration, and because of these vibrations, because of the shock loads, there are chances that in the long run the shafts can undergo the failure and result into the stoppage of the machine. So in order to reduce such conditions, in order to reduce the transmission of the shock loads from one shaft to the other shafts, we are using the flexible couplings. So dear friends, these are some of the basic purposes or objectives of using the shaft couplings. Let us now proceed further and understand the types of the coupling or the classification of the shaft couplings. Generally, according to the literature which is given in your textbook, I am restricting myself towards the discussion. So shaft couplings are mainly classified into two types. They are the rigid couplings and the flexible couplings. The rigid couplings are further subdivided into three types. They are the sleeve or the muff coupling. The second one is the split muff or the clamp coupling. And third one is the flange coupling. And as we are proceeding further with the discussion of the flange coupling is further divided into two types. They are the protected type and the unprotected type. So these are the three subdivisions of the rigid couplings. Now let us proceed further with the next part of the classification, that is the flexible couplings. The flexible couplings are further subdivided into three types. They are the boost pin type of the flange coupling, the old arms coupling, and the universal coupling. So friends, now we will be understanding in detail the rigid couplings, the different types of the rigid couplings. Then also we are going to understand the flexible couplings and the different types of the flexible couplings. So friends, let me know from your side, is the concepts clear to all up till the point of the types of the coupling or classification of the coupling? Are you getting all the points? Is the concept clear to all the students? Up till the last point, that is the types of the couplings. I am asking again and again because this is the scoring chapter, very easy to understand. And you can score very good marks if you are attempting these questions in the GTU examination, writing perfectly, drawing the figures, then you will be getting very good marks. Thank you all for giving me your confirmations in the chat box. So let us now proceed further with the discussion related to the rigid couplings. So the rigid couplings, from the name only we can understand that they are used for the connection of the two shafts. And these are the permanent couplings. The rigid couplings are used to connect two shafts which are perfectly in the axial alignment. That means the axes of both the shafts must be common. That can be either in the horizontal direction or in the vertical direction. But for using the rigid couplings, the two shafts must be in perfect axial alignment. Axial alignment in simple, the shafts are having the common axis, same axis. The rigid coupling justifies the point that this coupling do not allow the relative motion between the two shafts. The two shafts will be steady, there will be no motion, and no motion will be used for transmitting the power from one shaft to the another shaft, or just used for the connection purposes. Let us now understand the advantages of the rigid couplings. It has the high torque transmitting capacity. The rigid couplings are easy to assemble and dismantle. It has a very simple construction, easy to design, as well as these couplings are easy to manufacture. So whenever there is the requirement of the perfect axial alignment of the shafts to be connected and there is no relative motion between the two shafts, then always the mechanical engineers, they prefer the use of the rigid couplings. Now friends, let us proceed further and understand the different types of the rigid couplings. So the first simplest type, that is the sleeve or the Murph coupling. Remember friends, in the examination, you does not have to draw the three-dimensional figure. I am repeating the point once again. In the examination, you do not have to draw this three-dimensional figure. The figure is given in your textbook just to clear the technical concept. But in the examination, you only need to draw the front view and the side view. The two-dimensional views only you need to draw in the examination. So sleeve or the Murph coupling, you can see that there are two shafts. In this image, that is shaft A and shaft B. Both the shafts on the above side are having a slot through which the key will be passing. Surrounding these shafts, we are provided with the sleeve or the Murph. So the sleeve or the Murph is tightened on both the shafts by passing the key that is shown in the image. So this is how both the shafts are coupled with one another. If you see this three-dimensional image from the front side, this side, you can observe this particular view, that is the front view. And if you observe from the side, then you can see this shaft which is shown by the shaded portion. On the top side, you can see the slot of the key that is shown by the square. And also you can observe the circular sleeve which is surrounding the shaft that is shown by the outer circle. So this is the discussion related to the sleeve or the Murph coupling. If you refer the points in your textbook, very simple points are given so you can easily understand the concept. Let me show you the practical sleeve or the Murph coupling. Dear friends, this is the practically used sleeve or the Murph coupling. It is a type of the rigid coupling. Here, in addition to the key slot, Also, the holes are provided for the bolts assembly. So this is the first type of the rigid coupling. Let us now proceed further with the second type, that is the split muff coupling. Dear friends, it is the modification of the muff coupling. In the previous type, the muff coupling was of the single unit. The muff was of the single unit which was surrounding both the shafts. In this case, the muff is divided into two components. If you understand the three-dimensional image, the half portion is on the top side and the half portion of the muff is on the bottom side. And for connecting both these muffs, we are using the nut and the bolt assembly. Again, I am repeating the point. In the examination, you need not to draw the three-dimensional image. You just need to draw the front view and the side view. For better understanding, I hope now seeing the practical image, the concept will be more clear to you related to the split muff coupling. In this, you can see that the muff is divided, splitted into two components, the upper portion and the downward portion. Both these components are connected by means of the bolts and the nut assembly. Also, through these shafts, both these shafts, a keyway is provided for the connection of the key. This is the driving shaft, the input shaft, and this is the driven shaft, the output shaft. Dear students, let me know from your side, are you understanding the simple concepts of the rigid couplings? For your better understanding, I am showing you the images which are given in your textbook. Also, I am showing you the practical images so that you can correlate both the points and understand the technical concepts. Thank you, dear friends, for giving me your positive response in the chat box. Now let us proceed further to the most important type of the rigid coupling, that is the flange coupling. And friends, if you observe practically around yourself in several applications, we are using the flange coupling. In the flange coupling, there are two flanges. One flange is connected to the driving shaft and another flange is connected to the driven shaft. Both the flanges will be having the holes. The holes will be provided on both the flanges. But remember, one flange will be having the projection and the other flange will be having the recess. That means one flange will be having the projection, some outer material in the design, and in the another flange there will be the recess or the slot. So that slot will be coming in contact with the projection and the two flanges will be making contact with one another. Then both the flanges are connected by means of the nut bolt assembly. By tightening of the nut and the bolt assembly, both the flanges are connected, rigidly connected with one another. And through this connection of both the flanges, we can tell that now the shafts are coupled with one another. So this is the simplest type of the flange coupling. So this is the front view of the flange coupling and this is the side view of the flange coupling. You can see that the centermost circle that represents the shafts. Then surrounding the shaft, we are having the hub of the flange and finally the outer periphery that represents the circular design of the flange. And for connection of the two flanges, since we are using the nut bolt assembly, so that is shown in the image in the side view. Let us proceed further with the discussion of the flange coupling. Remember friends, the flange coupling are further divided into two types. They are the protected type and the unprotected type. So this is the image of the protected type of the flange coupling. Because if you can observe the image, understand the image, the nut bolt assembly is covered by the covering which is known as the shroud. The shroud, that is the protective covering, which is provided for the nut and the bolt assembly. This covering is provided in order to prevent the impurities, the clotting of the clothes, etc. Since the flange coupling is having the shroud, the covering, protective covering, it is known as the protected type of the flange coupling. And now if you see the previous image, in this type you can see that there is no shroud provided, there is no protected covering. So this is the image of the unprotected type of the flange coupling. So on the basis of the covering, the basis of the shroud available or not, the flange couplings are divided into protected type and the unprotected type. Let me show you the practical image of the flange coupling so that the concept will be much clear to you. So this is the flange coupling. You can see that the two flanges are connected with one another by means of the nut bolt assembly. Also on one flange there is the hub. Similarly on the another flange there is the hub, and through the hub the shafts are connected by the keys. So friends, if you have understood the logic of the flange coupling, can any student give me the answer? This practical image of the flange coupling is of the type of protected or unprotected. This image is of which type of flange coupling? Protected or unprotected? Just understand the logic, understand the question, and then give me the answer in the chat box. I have already given you two options, protected type or unprotected type. I want maximum responses from the students. Just think over the topics and then give me the answer. So friends, this is the example, this image which you are seeing on the screen, that is the example of the unprotected type. Because you can see that the nut bolt assembly, they are exposed to the atmosphere. There is no outer covering, there is no protective covering which is surrounding the nut and the bolt assembly. The nut bolt assembly are exposed to the atmosphere. So this is considered as the unprotected type of the flange coupling. Dear students, now is it clear to all the concept of the flange coupling? So this is the example of the unprotected type of the flange coupling. So this is about the discussion of the different types of the rigid couplings. Now dear friends, let us proceed further and understand the flexible couplings. The flexible coupling is used to connect the two shafts end to end in the same line for the two main purposes. The first purpose of using the flexible coupling is to transmit the power, that is the torque, from one shaft to the another shaft, thereby causing both the shafts to rotate with one another at the same RPM. So in the flexible coupling, both the shafts will be rotating with one another. The second purpose of using the flexible coupling is to compensate for the small amounts of the misalignment and the random movement between the two shafts. So in the case whenever there is the misalignment between the two shafts, always we need to use the flexible couplings. So now let us proceed further and understand the different types of the flexible couplings. So the first type of the flexible coupling, that is the bush pin type of the flange coupling. It is the modification of the flange coupling. Only the minor modification is that the rubber bushing is provided in addition to the nut and the bolt assembly. So whenever there is the minor misalignment between the two flanges, whenever there is the application of the shock loads, the misalignment, the deflections, all will be taken by the rubber bushings which are provided. Hence now this can be considered as a type of the flexible coupling. So this is the bush pin type of the flange coupling. Only you can see in the image an additional pin is provided that is used for the rubber bushing, and other points they remain the same as in the case of the flange coupling. So let me show you the practical image of the bush pin type flange coupling. So this is the image of the bush pin type flange coupling. You can see that in addition to the nut and the bolt assembly, the rubber bushings are provided so that the coupling can have the flexibility. Other points they remain the same as that of the flange coupling. Now friends, let us proceed further to the most important type of the flexible coupling, and in the examination also the Oldham coupling is asked several times. So the main components of the Oldham coupling, the main purpose of the Oldham coupling is to join two parallel shafts which are having some distance between the axes. You can see in the topmost image the driving shaft and the driven shaft. Both the axes are parallel to one another, but there is a minor distance between the two shafts. The first shaft, driving shaft, is connected to the flange A that is shown in the image. The flange A is having a horizontal slot which you can see in the image. Also, the another shaft, that is driven shaft, is connected to the flange B. But in the flange B, we are having the vertical slot. The most important component, that is the floating disc E, the centermost disc E, which will be having the tongue T1, the projection, horizontal projection on one side, and on the back side, it will be having the vertical projection. This horizontal projection will be fitting in this slot, and the vertical projection will be fitting in the vertical slot. So friends, now the coupling is connected, and using this coupling, the two parallel shafts are connected by one another. Let me show you the animation of the Oldham coupling so that the working will be perfectly clear in your minds. So this is the practical use of the Oldham coupling, the practical components, the shaft having the hub, the flange having the horizontal projection, the another shaft having the flange having the vertical projection, the centermost disc, that is the floating disc E, having the horizontal tongue and the vertical tongue. So this is the working of the Oldham coupling. If you understand the working, applying your technical concept, applying the engineering mindset, you can understand that when the slot is moving in the horizontal direction, on the other side, same slot is moving in the vertical direction. The percentage of horizontal in, that is equal to the percentage of vertical out. Dear students, if you have understood the Oldham coupling perfectly, kindly give me your confirmation in the chat box. The Oldham coupling is mainly used for the two parallel shafts where there is some distance between the two axes. I want maximum responses from the students so that I can proceed further. If you have understood the animation, the working of the Oldham coupling, kindly give me your confirmations. Okay, thank you all. So now let us proceed further and understand the last type of the flexible coupling, that is the universal coupling. Dear friends, the universal coupling is used for joining two intersecting shafts. When there is the power transmission between the two intersecting shafts, we are using the coupling, that is the universal coupling. And I hope you have seen the universal coupling several times in the practical application. I will show you the animation of the universal coupling so that you can remember where you have seen the universal coupling. The main components are the fork 1 and the fork 2. There are two number of the forks. The center one, that is the pin and the collar assembly, the center block. Let us now proceed further with the universal coupling. So this is the practical image of the universal coupling. The first component shows the disassembled view, the different components in the disassembled, and this is the assembled view of the universal coupling. Repeating the point once again, the universal coupling is a flexible coupling which is used for joining two intersecting shafts. Now friends, let me show you the animation so that the working will be perfectly clear in your minds. So this is the animation of the universal coupling. One shaft can be considered as the driving shaft and the another shaft is considered as the driven shaft. Dear students, apply your logic, remember something. Let me know from your side, is the concept clear to all related to the universal coupling? So this is used for the intersecting shafts. Let me show you one more modification, one more animation of the universal coupling. So this is again the modification of the universal coupling. Can you remember where you have seen this type of the coupling? Any student can remember practically where you have seen this type of the coupling used for the transmission of the power? Any student? Used in the cars, that is very good answer, but where in the cars? Where is the location of the universal coupling in the automobile? Steering wheel, very good, that is one of the answer, that is good answer. In the machine tools also we are using the universal coupling. So with this, I am completing the session from my side. Thanks for watching the current session. Have a nice day. Now, if you are having any questions from your side related to the topics discussed, you can ask me in the chat box. So we have completed the first part of this chapter, that is the couplings. Very easy to remember.